I was watching one of the shows on MSNBC. I think it was, I can't remember which show it was, but, just kind of as I'm doing my blogging, I'm hearing it on the side. Then I heard Matthew Dowd started speaking about what is the real reason that so many gravitate to Donald Trump. Well, not so many, but a select group of people gravitate to Donald Trump that represent a certain people. And he was as plain as day, and it pretty much nailed it. Sent him a tweet saying, "Hey, man, I would love for you to be on Politics Done Right, but we couldn't get connected up yet. But I wanted this piece to be out because I think more than anything else, there is probably 80% of the people who watch this will get it and understand why they need to get it. Will they all? I don't know, but maybe enough will." Check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
The White House and the administration are sort of trying to respond with this idea that this election is existential, right? Everybody says it's the most important election of our time, but this time it might actually be. Whether the issue is democracy or the issue is freedoms and reproductive rights or racial equality or the economy. How do you think things are going so far in this campaign, and what would you like to see happen?
That this race needs to be about the existence of democracy and what that means and the moral cause of democracy. So I think the president's right about that. But one thing I think politicians need to understand and people that want elections need to understand is voters act in their self-interest. Abraham Lincoln knew this. When you go back and look at all of Lincoln's arguments that he made in the great moral cause of the Union, he made many of those arguments in voters' self-interest. And I think what you have to do is, why does democracy matter to the average person in their living room, not just theoretical and not just as a moral cause, but as a practical cause? What does that mean for their ability to get a minimum wage? What does that mean to get hired in a job? What does democracy mean in order to protect women's health freedoms? What does democracy mean in order to do something about climate change? All of those issues are completely dependent on the existence of a democracy and on the existence of the will of the people. That's one hand. The other part of this conversation, I think it's so important, is this is for us to say that this shouldn't be part of America today ignores the fact that many times that it has been part of America, as Eddie said. Let me give you a reason why this resonates so well and why Trump and the Republicans use this issue. And I would call it white Christian nationalism, because it's not just about race. It's about whether or not you're other on religion, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Jew. All of those things are tied together in a faith and a racial way, white Christian nationalism. For 200 years of our country, Ali, white, male, Christian, straight people held 95% of the positions of power for 200 years. 95% of them were held by white, male, Christian, straight people. And only in the last 30 years has that number gone down to 80%. And that group of people represent 27% of the population. White, Christian, male, straight people represent 20. And Donald Trump is leaning into this idea that these people have a grievance that they now only hold 80% of the positions of power. And that's the problem that we have, is not only is it an unwillingness to share, it's an unwillingness to even give people more of a seat at the table. People aren't arguing, only give those folks 27%. The fact that 80% of them still have power, but are still so concerned, really goes to the poison that exists in the American soil that has existed for 250 years.
There you go. Matthew Dowd, nail it. Let me tell you something, though, and this is something that always bothered me. There are so many Americans who make claim to a birthright that they never had. They make claim to a birthright that a minute few, like a Donald Trump, would have them believe they're entitled to, but others, the other, are making sure they'll never have it. When the reality is that minute few, the Donald Trumps of the world, that are manipulating that few to do their dirty work to ensure that they maximize on the wealth of everyone else. I mean, the dynamic is astounding, but the core of it starts with the ending sentences that you just heard Matthew Dowd articulate.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.